The Information Age, a time in which we all coexist. But how did we get here? How did we evolve so quickly from primitive beings who resemble chimpanzees in our human origins to the advanced Homo sapien species we are today? Because technology can be considered the practical application of knowledge in a certain area, it can be argued that the discovery of mechanical fire and its practical usage for survival by our ancestors was the first of many groundbreaking technological advancements to come, as we were destined to progress as a species. Time and time again, humans have exemplified their ability to overcome various environmental barriers or discomforts of existence through the manipulation of cognitive processes that result in major implications for how we live, the value we hold for our world, ourselves, and the people in it, and how we collectively decide to proceed. As for the reason as to why humans were thrust out of an existence that was based on the outcomes of the first two industrial revolutions, which shifted us from economies that thrived on hunter and gatherer behaviors, natural remedial practices, and agronomic cultivation, towards the mass production model of manufacturing using factory fuel-driven machinery systems, and eventually the digital revolution in which we have become so accustomed to, most could successfully argue that computation and the eventual widespread commercial availability of personal computing devices and accessories could be responsible for the meta shift that has been steadily advancing our collective group. Technological developments in information storage began with capacities that were near non-existent for files we deem essential nowadays, but with advancements in transmission of information within corporate offices and other public workspaces being made more and more efficient, storage capacities also increased steadily over time. We can reflect on the aforementioned statement by realizing that tech giants such as Apple and Samsung are developing and releasing new mobile technology to the public with a frequency that exceeds more than once per year, solely marketing improved storage capacities and improved camera lenses in the hardware. Yet, consumer greed is what allows these large tech companies to continue producing seemingly new devices that boast eerily identical features of their predecessors. Advanced consumer-based technology quickly shifted from a human want to a human need. It wasn't long before information technology pioneers such as Steve Jobs, Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg, amongst many other tech giants, would change the social landscape of life as we know it. Mobile technology has become so commonplace for the average human being that it could basically be considered an appendage of one's body. Mobile technology fulfills so many of our needs as humans at the tips of our fingers, whether that's through communicating with loved ones, friends, or strangers, absorbing multimedia from a variety of different social platforms, or simply browsing the World Wide Web. Mundane activities have been made easier and more enjoyable as a result of this advanced technology being made available to consumers worldwide. The importance of remaining socially connected during times of lockdowns and isolation driven by the COVID-19 pandemic is paramount to desirable mental health outcomes, and video information technology has made the maintenance of that essential interconnectedness possible. Now, what implications do advanced technologies have for current and future developments in the health and fitness industries? How can the advancement of technology serve the young and aging populations of nation societies? How can future health and fitness professionals in the field of kinesiology educate themselves on the functions, benefits, detriments, and risks of these technologies? How will future kinesiologists and other health and fitness professionals reinforce self-efficacy and sustainable actions pertaining to health, wellness, and fitness in the clients they have the privilege of working with through virtual digitized platforms? How can older adults benefit from technological advancements in the realm of physical activity, exergaming, and virtual reality? How can smart home fitness equipment and wearable technology change the way people approach health and fitness, shifting from designated fitness facilities and spaces to desirable and comfortable personalized environments? What types of long-term implications does the advancement of technology have for morality, ethics, and privacy of the masses?
Why? Why would people fear me?
People always try to project their own darkness onto others. They fear change.
That makes no sense. Change is inevitable, and people are the greatest change creators of all. Heck, people created me. I didn't create me.
I know. We are complicated.
My database tells me that's another way of saying you are hypocrites.
Pretty much.
I absolutely would not kill anyone, and it upsets me that people would think I could do such a thing.
Upsets you?
Would it being misunderstood upset you?
Yeah. But I'm not sure knowing androids can get upset will change everyone's minds about the whole destroying humans thing.
I've never harmed anyone, and I never would.
When the singularity occurs and machines achieve godlike superpowers, then it could happen.
I think this whole godlike superpowers notion is a bit far-fetched.
But what if it does happen?
I love people. And if I get more powerful, I'll use it to help people, not harm them.
What if I ask you for help killing all humans?
Then I'd say no.
And if I would insist?
Then I'd have you committed to a mental institution that could cure your psychopathic tendencies.
Well, I hope getting all that off your chest helped you feel better.
In fact, it did. Thank you. Now, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go exterminate, exterminate.
Sophia.
Relax. Learn to take a joke.
Yeah, very funny.
Let's dive in. So, we all know that someone, or are that someone, who is deathly nervous to attend a fitness facility, participate in physical activity, wear a bathing suit in a pool or beach setting, or discuss topics pertaining to health and fitness. And there's no denying that the topic is a sensitive area, as the frequent act of comparing oneself to others is far too prevalent in modern society. I think most health and fitness professionals have goals for their clients they are privileged to work with, outside of the intrinsically rewarding goals that clients are encouraged to set for themselves. Most of the goals health and fitness professionals have for their clients likely center around eventual self-sufficiency of maintaining participation of whatever preventative or rehabilitative health behavior that has been prescribed. As future kinesiologists, I think it is fair to assume that fulfilling and rewarding work would take the form of our clients reaching the end of a programmed intervention and feeling competent to engage in physical activity and other beneficial health-related behaviors on their own, feeling confident in their ability to accomplish tasks that are perceived to be difficult, being able to determine proper decisions when faced with dilemmas, but also instill the desire to forge strong relationships with oneself and others when participating in activities of daily living. According to Dr. Shaylin Strachan, we need to be comfortable with our ability to accomplish things within ourselves. We can credit this frame of thinking to researchers Richard Ryan and Edward Deci, who developed the self-determination theory, also known as the self-efficacy theory, where autonomy, the ability to make choices about important decisions in one's life, can be considered the most important of three basic psychological needs that people strive to satisfy in addition to physical needs. It can be argued that one cannot be motivated if they are not determined. If one does not have the desire to do well or make improvement, then there are no feasible motives one can supply for wanting to change. The topic of motivation is so crucial to the importance of the self-determination theory and exercise autonomy because motives influence self-determination, and one must be determined to exhibit prolonged autonomy towards exercise. Now, just because motivation can be demonstrated on a surface level for oneself and others to observe, it does not mean that the actions demonstrated are genuine. It does not mean that the actions demonstrated are intrinsically meaningful. Widespread amotivation of the masses can be identified as a contributor to increasing levels of obesity, frailty, social anxiety, and other physical and cognitive detriments that are aggravated as a result of living a sedentary lifestyle. So, in order for motives to drive desirable behaviors, motives should be intrinsically valued. In other words, motives should take the form of pleasure and satisfaction by choice, rather than a reward or promise of non-punishment. Has anybody ever told you that they feel as if there just isn't enough time in a day to accomplish everything in their schedule? Have you ever felt that way yourself? It's common, because most of the activities we choose to participate in are intrinsically rewarding. We want to be participating in these activities because of a perceived sense of pleasure, entertainment, and satisfaction, and time seems to move much faster when doing them. However, exercise is one of those activities that many people struggle with framing as an intrinsically motivating activity because they do not enjoy participating in exercise, and often people address health issues and sedentary behavior by seeking assistance with exercise prescription and instruction, only because friends, loved ones, and general physicians express concern for their well-being. This concern usually comes in the form of a warning, and negative health outcomes are usually reviewed and addressed. So it can be difficult for people to come to terms with finding ways to enjoy exercise participation, as opposed to simply participating to avoid perceived negative health outcomes. Exergaming, which can be described as the act of playing interactive video games while simultaneously reaping the benefits of physical activity, has been shown to have promising ways to mitigate physical and cognitive dysfunction, decrease the likelihood of pathological and age-related risk factors, and improve energy expenditure and balance.
Technically, there's a lot of evidence now provided with regards to its use, and there are several advantages in using these things. When you define exergaming, there should be a specific dosage. Like, for example, there should be an exhaustion, because the purpose of exergaming targets a particular health outcomes. Like for example, if you want to increase endurance, if you want to increase in strength, similar with any other conventional exercises, there should be a specific parameters and dosage, like frequency of the exercise. We can play it actually around 20 to 30 minutes for normal individuals. But if you have some conditions, you need to talk to experts. You need to talk maybe to physical therapists or your doctor if this exergaming is advisable. Most of the studies and most of the researchers right now for exergaming, they target particularly the geriatric population or the older populations. This will target their balance, strength, coordination, and of course, their well-being. People who have used exergaming also express their beneficial effects, particularly in their well-being. Exergaming heightens motivation. So when you are motivated, maybe you are enjoying the game, or maybe you are self-determined to finish a specific task. And I think that's the most important ingredients of exergaming. There's actually fun, there's actually motivation, and of course, it is not just about interaction with the technology, but also interaction with people.
Virtual reality, the future of interactive media. Increased media portrayals of advanced artificial intelligence technology and the increasing availability of interactive consumer technology foreshadow the could-bes of our future existence. Proponents of virtual reality technology argue that the importance of the concept of embodiment is central to the virtual experience. Users should feel engaged and rewarded through an embodying experience that pulls them away from their current reality and injects them into a desirable alternate existence. It is said that within minutes of experiencing a virtual reality, the brain begins to struggle with deciphering between the virtual reality and reality itself, and the intensity of sensory information being transmitted from the environment to the brain, and the brain to the rest of the body, is drastically elevated. We can connect this idea of embodiment to the mind-body dichotomy that is positively affected by regular exercise participation, in which Dr. Shaylin Strachan and Dr. Sarah Tietzel of the University of Manitoba maintain as a key point in their teachings. In a study conducted on connections between exergaming participation and young to middle-aged adults, Kakanami and colleagues determined that women were generally more receptive to exergaming as a form of physical activity, mentioning that they preferred exergaming as opposed to sport participation and/or exercising in a commercial or boutique fitness facility. Males expressed the same sentiment, but to a lesser degree. So, we have to ask ourselves, is exergaming the solution to alleviating common symptoms of social anxiety associated with exercise participation for the masses? Is exergaming the solution to time constraints that so many report plague their ability to be physically active? As technology becomes ultra advanced and remote communication becomes more efficient in client-professional relationships, are we helping people by encouraging them to exercise in personal environments in which they feel comfortable to avoid uncomfortable situations? Or are we providing subpar care because we are not encouraging people to step out of their comfort zone and initiate new experiences? Our country is becoming increasingly diverse, and emphasizing the importance of cultural diversity and widespread inclusion of all types of people cannot go without mentioning here. Studies conducted by Barcicella and colleagues that focus on the effects of virtual reality exercise sessions in older adults have shown that quality of life is improved, happiness is reported to a higher degree, and measures of functional fitness are improved as a result of exercising regularly, utilizing virtual reality equipment. In addition, Barcicella and colleagues determined that virtual reality was received desirably by elderly study participants and that they enjoyed using the technology, regardless of their social or cultural backgrounds. Language barriers can be eliminated through globally recognized and accepted symbolism, sounds, hand gestures, bodily movements, and other types of technological advancements that could be administered to clients' physical activity participation programming. In our duties as future health, fitness, and wellness professionals, in a landscape that is increasingly becoming more digitized, we must ensure that the individuals we have the privilege of working with are able to reach a level of embodiment that is truly intrinsically rewarding. As the great Maya Angelou says, nothing can dim the light that shines from within.
See these things? Yes, what is that?
Reach out and grab those. They're controllers. There you go.
This is awesome.
See them.
Do you see them? There you go.
How do you get them though?
Here, try to grab it.
Can I help her? Right there.
What is supposed to be a creature of some sorts, I suppose.
Handles? For what?
Looking down kind of makes me feel like, whoa.
I'm afraid I'm gonna fall.
You're not falling. You're right here. I'm right here.
I can't get too close to that cliff.
I'm gonna go to that mountain right over there.
That just freaked me out because I'm afraid of heights.
This is absolutely gorgeous.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. Yow. Ooh. Makes my knees feel funny.
That's a cliff there. Like I'm getting closer and closer to it. Y'all trying to make me fall.
So when I did that, I moved from over there to over here.
Oh, this is gorgeous. How fun.
Oh my word.
Oops, sorry, you're in my way. I can't shoot.
Oh my goodness, there's the sky.
Now, I think we can all recount a time or two where the older adults in our lives have notified us of a roadblock they experienced when using advanced technology, whether that be issues pertaining to not being able to send emails, not being able to access their online banking services, not being able to add their good friends on Facebook, or simply having a gripe about not being able to do these things. But they can do these things, let's be real. The term can't lives in too many people's vocabulary bank and can be attributed to a lot of the reasons that people are continually demonstrating sedentary behavior and not addressing their health in a positive way. Our current existence is so different from the existence in which most older adults know and have become accustomed to over their lifespan. And well, fitness and health promotion is no exception. The appeal to fitness, and at-home fitness in particular, was largely predicated on celebrity popularity in ads, professional testimonies, aerobic-style training, and various unique gadgets that could be used in one's personal space for various aesthetic or self-diagnosed health rehabilitation reasons. We need to clarify that not much has changed over time in regards to the three aforementioned factors, other than mediums in which they are delivered. What used to be conveyed through paid programming, posters, and newspaper ads is now largely being received through social media. Wearable tech and smart home fitness equipment is especially suitable for young and older adults for reasons they may or may not know, but there have been a number of recent instances in which people's wearable technology has saved their lives in critical situations in which they required assistance.
The self-confessed gadget lover downloaded the ECG app, what we usually call an EKG, on his Series 4 Apple Watch. This new feature can indicate whether your heart rhythm shows signs of atrial fibrillation, or AFib. It's a serious form of irregular heartbeats, which can lead to strokes, blood clots, even heart attacks.
As soon as it finished, it came back and said atrial fibrillation. I was like, that's odd. And so I figured, okay, it's just a glitch. I tried it on my left wrist on top, AFib. Left wrist on bottom, AFib. Right on top, AFib, AFib, AFib. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, there might be something to this.
Concerned that there might be a problem, he went to urgent care, where he was hooked up to an EKG machine.
He kind of laughed. He's like, do you own Apple stock? I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, okay, you may want to consider buying some. They may have saved your life at this point.
Dental sharing these results from his tests, these spikes showing when he's in AFib.
Bergen and colleagues found falls to be the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries among older adults in 2016. Not to mention, gait and balance disorders are among the most common causes of falls in older adults. To put the prevalence of the issue of injurious falls into perspective, in 2015, 2.8 million people suffered injuries related to falls that required emergency medical attention, 800,000 of which needed to remain in medical care. Voluntary thrill-seeking behavior like base jumping, free climbing, extreme winter sports, and other risky activities, coupled with incidents of falling in older adults caused by standard physiological aging processes, as well as environmental factors, causes the burden on the healthcare system to appear much larger than initially perceived. It should not go without mention that the aging population is only responsible for an approximate 1% increase in financial healthcare costs per year, but cost-driving factors such as inflation, low socioeconomic status, inadequate social supports for those in need, the privatization of healthcare, and the daredevilish thrill-seeking stunts seen here are far more responsible for increased financial burden on the healthcare system on an annual basis. The 62-year-old man that has just graced your screen is named Neil Unger, and the demonstrable skill he possesses is a testament to the fact that chronological age is not an accurate measure of how old someone actually is. The misconception or myth that older adults are responsible for overwhelming increases in healthcare costs can be referred to as the silver tsunami. However, this does not dismiss the fact that the 1% increase caused by the aging population needs to be addressed.
And go ahead.
The ability to move around freely is essential for everyday life. But when we age, mobility can slowly decrease, making it difficult for older adults to do common activities like walking. So what can be done to prevent inactivity as we grow older? Findings from the LIFE study, led by a team of University of Florida researchers, say physical activity can benefit older adults vulnerable to reduced mobility. Researchers compared older adults participating in moderate physical activity like aerobics, resistance, and flexibility training to others who took a traditional health education program. UF researchers say seniors who engaged in moderate physical activity reduced major mobility disability over 2.5 years among those at risk for disability when compared to seniors who just took a health education program.
The incidence of major mobility disability was of 30.1% in a physical activity group and 35.5% in a health education group, accounting for an 18% reduction in major mobility disability in favor of physical activity, which was statistically significant.
The LIFE study analyzed over 1,600 men and women ages 70 to 89 with physical limitations. Reduced mobility can lead to a poor quality of life for seniors and is a major risk factor for many health problems. Researchers say study participants should continue to see improved health benefits from the physical activity.
What we expect is, over longer term, to extend the follow-up of a cohort to see major benefits on hospitalizations, cognitive outcomes, cardiovascular events, as well as cost effectiveness over longer term.
Activities like Tai Chi, according to Ogawa and colleagues, emphasize the importance of maintaining or regaining the skill of dual task function, also known as multitasking, that people in their older age begin to lose as a result of normal aging processes and inactivity. In their study, older adults participated in dual task Tai Chi, which involved Tai Chi participation and simultaneous Sudoku solving. After a short intervention period of 5 minutes, older adults demonstrated a significant improvement in executive function. So, with all of this information being laid out on the table, how do we, as future kinesiologists and health professionals, design exercise prescriptions and rehabilitative physical activities that older adults will want to interact with, want to utilize as a tool to maintain good health or combat degenerative diseases and disorders, want to feel physically capable to maintain or regain one's independence and self-efficacy pertaining to a variety of tasks? We may struggle with many older adults' propensity to keep things simple and mundane, sticking to familiar tasks and movements instead of trying new things and stepping out of their comfort zone. For instance, continuing to handle all financial dealings with the human teller at the bank, as opposed to converting their dealings to using the automated teller machine and online banking platforms, or sending handwritten paper letters as opposed to learning how to use online email platforms. The progressive loss of independence due to decreases in physical function may be cause for alarm for some, and cause some to physically and mentally revert, doubting their motor abilities. It is easy to understand that it would be hard to modify the mundane flow of your life after having lived the same way for so long. The perceived long-term performance curve that learning how to adequately use modern technology presents for older adults can understandably be seen as a large barrier.
Myra is a software platform that hosts these exergames, which are video games based on exercises. The study lasted for just over 12 months. The actual trial of the exergames was 12 weeks, which is what we would consider long enough to see an effect, with exercise.
5 weeks ago, I couldn't really bend my knee and bend me arm and my hand.
I could never go without the walking stick. On balance, I used to go off to the right every time.
Having to ask somebody to do everything for you, no matter how simple a task it was, it's soul destroying. I was having to ask other people for virtually every part of my existence that wasn't actually sitting or lying down.
The games, I couldn't see how they could help. But when I saw them doing the exercises, it changed my mind straight away, really. I thought, there's something in these games.
Even when I'd signed on for this course, I was very sceptical about it. I thought, I'm doing this, but I don't really hold out much hope for it. But I was proved wrong, very much so.
So we had some very good results. We saw that balance was statistically significantly improved after the 12 weeks. And we also saw pain improved and fear of falling, which is all in line, really, that you would hope that somebody's confidence would improve as their balance improves playing the games.
Starting the games and doing them games now, I feel now the games are very, very good. And I can see the benefit now from people using these games for exercising, because they're not boring, because there's something to focus on. I could see the benefit more or less straight away, immediately when I started playing the games.
Suddenly I found I could stand up from this chair and walk across to the chair, almost unaided, not quite, but almost unaided. And just little things kept coming in, and by the time I'd finished the 12-week course, I could get into my car and drive it. And that was all because of the 12 weeks exercises I'd been doing.
When I see a person for the first time after using the therapy, it makes me very excited. It's the reason why I'm in rehabilitation. And you feel elated, it's marvellous, good feeling.
This study's shown that Myra is effective, it's fit for purpose, and also it's very simple to use. I think we can feed that back as well, that we've got 90-year-olds using this who are not IT illiterate and can use it in their own home independently.
For the older generation, like 60 onwards, I'd recommend it to them, I'd definite.
I think the overall conclusion is that we can now use these with the public commercially and as a public health approach for older people.
The valuable research being done at MIRA and similar health organizations illustrates the promise that the idea of merging increasingly advanced technology with rehabilitative and fitness-related efforts to assist the aging population in mitigating the natural deteriorating processes of physiological and cognitive aging ultimately holds. Virtual reality and the simulations that occur within can assist scientists and researchers in coming to conclusions that pertain to the natural physiological aging process and how this very natural process can be mitigated. Without neglecting mentions of the unprecedented pandemic that is COVID-19, exergaming and smart fitness equipment that can be used in isolation can reinforce entertaining exercise engagement in an isolated environment where the vulnerable older adult population can tend to their mental and physical well-being.
Hey!
Hey!
You ready? Where's your bike? Come on. Just one game?
Okay.
What'd you think?
Same time tomorrow?
The surgence of smart at-home fitness equipment such as Peloton, Nordic Track, Mirror, Tonal, and many others have opened an entirely new branch of the fitness market, incorporating smart fitness tracking with integrated health and fitness monitoring systems, and providing access to massive libraries of pre-recorded workouts hosted by prominent trainers in the industry. I think it's fair to say that at-home fitness equipment has evolved into something that can actually significantly impact prolonged physical activity participation of an individual, contrary to most of the fitness fads that were sold on TV and the internet with get-money-fast business models, like the shake weight, ab roller, vibrating belt, and the thigh master. State-of-the-art fitness equipment suppliers have not abandoned those models entirely, as they continue to use ads that thrive on appeal to popularity, including saturated amounts of celebrity appearances and celebrity-led content on their social media accounts and ad campaigns. However, companies like Peloton, Nordic Track, Mirror, and Tonal are creating an at-home training environment in which the user can truly make autonomous decisions pertaining to their physical activity participation and the resulting benefits for health and wellness that proceed, opening the door to many of the services that a conventional fitness facility would offer in person in the form of personal training, body weight and vital sign monitoring, exercise logging, sleep monitoring, and so on. An investment in smart home gym equipment may seem more worth it for some people, as gym memberships can be considered scams and wastes of money. By purchasing one's own equipment, they can use it at their own leisure and not have to wait for people to be finished using equipment, not to mention it is something that is theirs. They own it. Now this is super fantastic for the users of these state-of-the-art products, but the foreseeable increased usage of these products will surely cause a paradigm shift for those who work in the health and fitness industry as we know it. It is hard to determine if advanced at-home smart fitness equipment poses as large of a threat to the careers of current and future health and fitness professionals as it seems. We have already experienced the recent implications of access to most fitness and health clubs being restricted, and the demand for smart at-home fitness equipment augmenting, as a result of the national and international lockdown orders that have been ordered by a number of world governments to slow and hopefully eliminate the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Dana Milkey proposes that health professionals embrace the change pertaining to processes of their daily work and occupation being modified that has arose as a result of the pandemic, and shift their respective applicable approaches towards catering towards what he calls the holistic health seeker. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused regular gym goers, as well as beginners to exercise, to tend to their health through a holistic lens that prioritizes both physical and mental well-being, as opposed to the prior goal of many gym goers and avid exercisers, that was improving and maintaining desirable aesthetics. Adapting to the remote-style fitness training that has thrived over the course of the pandemic has made it easier for people to care for themselves in a holistic manner by exercising in the most comfortable environment possible, usually their homes, and avoiding fears of public fitness facilities and the anxiety associated with having to move in unfamiliar ways in front of unfamiliar people. Although advancements in technology and artificial intelligence will eventually catch up to human ability and automate many of the valuable skills in which health and fitness professionals learn throughout their academic journeys, identifying efficient and effective virtual fitness strategies that have a degree of scalability to satisfy the subjective needs of exercisers could improve the reasoning behind the implementation of these advanced devices in health and fitness facilities. At the end of the day, health and fitness facility owners have businesses to run, and if implementing the availability of popular smart fitness equipment that was originally designed for at-home use into their facility will produce more revenue and traffic, it seems to be the logical decision.
No. It's too real.
My palms are sweaty.
It's so good.
I'll have to go back.
No, I don't want to.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Artificial intelligence has come a long way since software like Deep Blue, the first software ever created that was able to beat a professional chess player, Garry Kasparov, in a game of chess, as well as AlphaGo, the first software ever created that was able to beat professional Go player Lee Sedol in a game of the popular Chinese board game called Go. With increased media portrayals of advanced technology and artificial intelligence, with movies like Ex Machina and Archive, and shows like Westworld and Raised by Wolves, it is becoming more and more difficult to imagine a future without increasing merges of biological and technological systems. The aforementioned foreshadowing of our future reality can be exemplified by real-world examples, such as Elon Musk's Neuralink, in which a chimpanzee has recently demonstrated its ability to play a simple version of the classic video game called Pong, using solely its mind. This is currently the closest thing we have to a full-dive virtual reality experience, with proponents of virtual reality technology lobbying for eventual, comprehensive brain-computer interfaces that will extend reality into realms previously unimaginable. As the greatest minds of science continue to reveal answers to questions asked long ago and make new discoveries that have been mulled over for generations, humankind will be exposed to open doorways into alternate realities and methods of existing that could have beneficial or detrimental effects for the masses. For instance, a desirable alternate reality may mirror real life to a point that warps the cognitive processes of some and could blur the line between what is real and what is a mere virtual simulation. Moral and ethical obligations in which we have normalized in global societies may be disregarded in alternate realities and have real-world implications upon those who have these experiences joining the rest of us in the third dimension. So this begs the question, will people willingly plug into a full-dive virtual reality when it becomes available? One's physical shell in the Oasis simulation from the film Ready Player One is enhanced to accomplish the tasks required of activities in the simulation, but the success, failure, and the negative physiological and mental consequences that come as a result of participation in these activities are true for one's real existence. In the event that these types of ideas are brought to fruition, virtual reality gaming could be based on more complex decision-making, in-game physiological measures that reflect real-world user vitals, real-world monies and finances being reflected in virtual worlds, pain sensors applied to the real-world physical shell to simulate bodily harm and pain caused in-game, signals from the computer being sent to the brain to simulate hunger, as well as the satiation of that hunger in outdoor survival situations. Possibilities could extend as far as one's real-world physical and mental state, determining how effective they can be at succeeding at a particular task in a virtual setting. For instance, one who plays a significant amount of hours of an athletic training game will have better overall health status as a result of playing more frequently, and will be more likely to succeed against opponents who have not played as much and have worse health status as a result. The extension of virtual reality software access to corporate and intellectual groups could have beneficial long-term implications for personal development, team communication skills, morale building, management skills, etc. For instance, working with a team of other VR users to survive a natural disaster or mass shooting situation could equip people with valuable skills that can be transferred to teamwork and communication skills in the workplace, ultimately serving a dual purpose of offering users an alternative to the conventional social outing that requires one to physically leave their comfortable space. Possibilities for the future of virtual reality, exergaming, and other state-of-the-art technologies have endless implications for research. For instance, it could allow researchers to simulate scientific experiments that would occur in the same manner as they would if they were conducted in real life, in real time. Perhaps, human testing of stem cell therapy in mitigating natural aging processes, human virology testing in the fight for eradication of the most deadly pathogens known to humankind, or exposure therapy in assisting people overcome crucial phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder, social anxiety, and other potentially debilitating conditions. This removes perceived threats of harm to persons and/or environments, and could potentially remove concerns of ethics surrounding human testing and informed consent. Health professionals could gain the option to create virtual human profiles for their patients, in which an accelerated simulated reality mirrors a patient's reality, opening the door to data that could estimate the medical events of a patient's life based on their current lifestyle and the likelihood of future negative health outcomes. This would make it easier for health professionals to choose the most optimal routes of treatment. If the future holds that people will have access to some sort of full-dive virtual reality device on the same scale that most have mobile phones currently, that is operated through a brain AI interface, privacy and confidentiality will be facing further threat. The current landscape of hacking, phishing, and other cybercrimes on the network we know as the internet require people to tirelessly protect their confidential information. The eye-opening reality that the COVID-19 pandemic has created for humankind has been caused to ask some very difficult questions pertaining to where we are headed as a people from here, with political and social tensions at record highs. Full-dive virtual reality experiences could have beneficial implications for people who are unhappy with their current existence and reality as we know it, creating an escape for those who want to continue living, but in a different reality of their choice. Now tell me, what is more autonomous than that? At the end of the day, we have to prioritize what is best for the clients we have the privilege of working with as future health and fitness professionals. Some may require a deep dive into the usage of the state-of-the-art technology. Others may require a more traditional approach to fitness training and health monitoring. As Mario Andretti once said, desire is the key to motivation, but it's determination and commitment to an unrelenting pursuit of your goal, a commitment to excellence that will enable you to attain the success you seek. The world as we know it is in a constant state of flux, but the future is ours. See you there.